SR-72 Darkstar, the hypersonic monster that shocked Russia and China. Imagine an aircraft capable of crossing the Atlantic Ocean in just 1.5 hours, becoming invisible to radar systems and carrying hypersonic missiles that can destroy a target before anyone realizes what's happening. Yes, this is not science fiction. It's the latest American bomber, the SR-72 Darkstar. In addition to hypersonic missiles, it can also carry tactical nuclear warheads, making it not just a reconnaissance aircraft, but a fully operational strike platform. Just think about it. The SR-72 can deliver a devastating blow to key enemy military installations from a distance where no air defense system can intercept it. And honestly, Russia and China are seriously concerned right now. They say speed is life, but in the case of the SR-72, speed is also an invisible death for any target. The SR-72 is the direct successor to the legendary SR-71 Blackbird, but with capabilities that surpass our conventional understanding of aviation. This aircraft can fly at speeds exceeding 3,700 miles per hour, which is 5 times the speed of sound. For comparison, a passenger Boeing 747 cruises at approximately 560 miles per hour. What does this mean in practice? Imagine you need to deliver a package from New York to London. The SR-72 would do it faster than you could finish watching an entire Marvel movie. And that's no joke. Speaking of jokes, when the SR-72 appears on radar screens, air defense operators in Russia and China have just a few seconds to realize that it's not a glitch in their system, but a real target.
It's the best flying aircraft I've had the opportunity to fly.
In military affairs, there's one fundamental rule. Whoever controls the sky controls the situation. Russia and China have invested enormous resources for years in developing hypersonic missiles and aircraft, but the SR-72 has taken things even further. Russia can counter it with the MiG-41, a promising supersonic interceptor still in the development stage, as well as the S-500 and even S-550 missile systems, which theoretically can intercept hypersonic targets. China, on the other hand, has the WZ-8 hypersonic aircraft, the H-20 bomber, and the HQ-19 and HQ-22 air defense systems. However, none of these projects are currently capable of consistently intercepting an object moving at speeds exceeding 3,700 miles per hour. But if you think the SR-72 only flies and hides, you're mistaken. It also carries the AGM-183A Aero missile, capable of reaching speeds of up to 15,000 miles per hour. Add to this the Hawk and Sci-Fire hypersonic missiles, which may also soon be installed on the SR-72. This sounds more like a list of the most terrifying gifts in the world of modern aviation.
Is by employing it against targets that we cannot normally see visually, whether it is due to weather, smoke, haze, or just some sort of other thing that's obscuring the target.
Hawk is a missile that operates on the principle of scramjet engines, allowing it to effectively overcome missile defense barriers. Sci-Fire, in turn, is designed for high-precision strikes over vast distances. These missiles can change their flight trajectory in real time, making them nearly invulnerable to modern air defense systems. They're capable of bypassing missile defense systems thanks to their speed, maneuverability, and the minimal reaction time they allow for defense systems. There's also the DARPA Glidebreaker program, which is working on systems capable of intercepting hypersonic missiles. However, even these technologies are still far from perfect. To better understand the purpose of the SR-72, imagine combining the RQ-4 Global Hawk reconnaissance drone with the B-2 Spirit strategic bomber. It has the ability to perform deep reconnaissance missions as well as deliver precision strikes on critically important targets. The difference is that the SR-72 can execute both tasks much faster and at a higher altitude while remaining virtually undetectable. The SR-72's mission is not limited to military operations. Its capabilities enable global climate change monitoring, supporting key international missions, and even assisting in disaster relief operations. Imagine an aircraft capable of flying over a disaster zone, transmitting critical data to rescue teams, and returning to base all within a few hours.
The primary armament is in weapons bays underneath the airplane, where we carry 6 medium-range radar-guided missiles.
More than $10 billion has already been spent on the development of the SR-72, and funding continues. Yes, every U.S. taxpayer has in some way contributed to this project. Maintaining a single SR-72 will cost approximately $300 million per year, including maintenance, crew training, and infrastructure support. Of course, the question arises, will the SR-72 share the fate of the B-2 Spirit, considered one of the most expensive aircraft in history? Engineers have learned from past mistakes. The SR-72 was designed with a focus on modularity, automated maintenance, and the use of artificial intelligence to reduce operating costs. Additionally, the SR-72 will not require the same specialized storage conditions as its predecessor.
Airplanes are becoming very expensive these days, and we had to do something to get the cost of these airplanes back down to a reasonable level.
SR-72 Darkstar is not just an aircraft, it's a symbol of U.S. technological leadership. It redefines the concepts of warfare and defense, raising the bar so high that other nations will have to work extremely hard just to catch up. But how will this affect global politics? Imagine 3 athletes at the starting line. The U.S. is already on the final stretch, Russia's trying to gain speed with the mythical MiG-41, and China with the WZ-8 is just starting to accelerate. The SR-72 gives the U.S. near total air dominance. The most terrifying part for its adversaries? It hasn't even fully revealed its capabilities yet. Curious about what the SR-72 looks like in reality? Imagine a sharp-nosed black aircraft that looks like something straight out of a sci-fi movie. The materials used in the SR-72 include heat-resistant carbon fiber composites, titanium niobium alloys, and ceramic coatings that reflect heat. One of the primary challenges engineers faced was airframe overheating at hypersonic speeds. To address this, they developed advanced cooling systems, including special channels with the fuselage for heat dissipation. The SR-72 engine is a hybrid of a turbojet and a scramjet engine, enabling it to maintain stability at both subsonic and hypersonic speeds. Another standout feature is its artificial intelligence system, which controls key flight systems in real time. And you know what's most exciting? The SR-72 hasn't even reached full operational readiness yet. So if you thought this was the peak of aviation technology, trust me, the best is yet to come. The U.S. Air Force is testing its newest supersonic jet. It's expected to set a new speed record and raise the U.S. air power to a new level. The best engineers from companies such as Boeing, Lockheed Martin, SpaceX, and others worked on its development. Be sure that what they managed to create will impress you. Even China and Russia are shocked because the United States was the first in the world to create a 7th-generation fighter that breaks all the paradigms of air warfare. This is thanks to hypersonic speed, artificial intelligence technology with unmanned control, laser weapons, and stealth capabilities.
The Joint Strike Fighter is going to be the backbone airplane for hauling freight. It is going to be the muscle part of sustained forces.
Someone might object. How is it possible to create a 7th-generation fighter jet when only the 5th generation exists? This is a really interesting question. In fact, the division into generations is a very subjective concept. The experts still don't have a consensus on what exactly makes them different. Technologies have already reached the point where they show such high results that it's very difficult to come up with something new. And even though experts have managed to come to the conclusion that the new generation should have a speed at least twice that of sound, have an advanced stealth system, and of course be armed with very powerful weapons, it still sounds vague. Actually, no one knows what these aircraft are like in reality, what they look like, and when they'll be released. We're only given lip service to technology, but with this information, we can understand what the 6th and 7th generation fighters will look like. To get an even better idea of what the new fighter will look like, you should take a look at this development. On April 28, 2022, Boeing unveiled the first production T-7A Red Hawk, a new jet aircraft designed to train pilots of 5th and 6th generation fighters.
And there's a lot of power on the airplane, and it really wants to go flying.
The joint development of the American Boeing and Swedish Saab AB was created to replace the T-38 Talon training aircraft, which have been faithfully serving the U.S. Air Force and NASA for over 60 years. This replacement was necessary because the Talon is a 3rd-generation aircraft and the 7th generation will appear in the near future. Despite the fact that the T-7A Red Hawk is a training aircraft, it turned out to be an incredibly modern fighter that can be sent into combat right away. Moreover, the developers accidentally managed to do something that influenced the future of all unmanned aviation. The T-7A is designed in such a way that the nose of the aircraft spontaneously drops down if the aircraft reaches critical flight angles. The automatic flight control system helps with this. This minor detail, on which no bets were even placed, made it possible to improve the artificial intelligence of fighter jets and make them as safe as possible.
This is where we go demonstrate high angle of attack maneuverability as well as departure resistance.
For example, if the pilot of a brand new Darkstar loses consciousness, the aircraft will start to go to critical angles, after which artificial intelligence will work and level the flight. It'll then head for the nearest base, the location of which is stored in the onboard computer, and upon arrival at the base, the AI will be able to land on its own, saving the pilot's life. It's surprising that a supersonic training aircraft has led to the creation of such incredible technologies, and experts are confident that a similar system will be on the latest 7th generation fighter.
Digital engineering has really been a game changer to this program.
By the way, while we're talking about the Darkstar, it's time to say that the 6th generation fighter has finally begun active service on the USS Gerald R. Ford aircraft carrier. Why is this such a significant event? The reason's clear. Traditionally, deck-based aircraft have been weaker than ground-based aircraft. For example, representatives of the 5th generation F-35 and F-22, both aircraft were created at the same time. Both have the latest technologies, but the F-22 is far ahead of its counterpart due to its speed of 1,860 miles per hour compared to 1,180 miles per hour of the F-35. The first one's also more maneuverable, and its survivability is not far behind. The reason for this difference is in the design features of decked fighters. They have to be lighter to be able to take off from an aircraft carrier.
We had to do something to get the cost of these airplanes back down to a reasonable level.
But the situation has changed. The new 6th generation fighter jet is so powerful and has such capabilities that it qualifies as a science fiction development from the future. But the most amazing thing is that we can already see it today. This is the most dangerous weapon of the United States because the new aircraft cannot be detected by the eye or radar. It's capable of hovering over the enemy and unleashing the full force of its deadly arsenal of bombs and missiles in just a few seconds, wiping out the city.
The primary armament is in weapons bays underneath the airplane, where we carry 6 medium-range radar-guided missiles.
In addition, the new fighter can control an entire army of ships and aircraft, becoming an invisible air command center. The Darkstar development program started in 2012. Its main goal was to develop a manned, stealthy 6th generation fighter jet. The aircraft was supposed to be just good, a little better than all the existing ones, but every year the technology became more powerful and the requirements for a new fighter increased even more. That's how the invisible Darkstar with the most powerful weapon on board appeared. It's capable of carrying out the most complex air missions at a speed of 1,930 miles per hour.
In the past, you may have needed, a whole strike from a carrier to be able to do that. Now you just do it with one airplane.
The second feature of Darkstar is complete invisibility. With the current development of technology and experience in this area, engineers only had to create a material capable of reflecting radar waves in the opposite direction or changing the direction of waves hitting the fighter. With this method, the radar just can't detect the aircraft because the waves don't return to the grating. But why was it necessary to create such complex technologies? Of course, for the most powerful and devastating attacks, because Darkstar carries more than a dozen supersonic maneuvering projectiles with a total weight of 6,600 pounds. They reach speeds 3 times faster than the speed of sound and can destroy an enemy even without using a warhead, just by using kinetic energy. The bombs were not forgotten either. The fighter carries 6 cluster munitions or 1 nuclear bomb. The kamikaze drones are also on board and are used to storm enemy positions. The reconnaissance drones collect all the data about the area and send it directly to the pilot's helmet.
The future of weapons could look very different to what they look like today. So we're looking at options to have flexible payload bays, have different missiles all contained within it.
Another idea based on Darkstar is to build a fighter jet with systems that can be improved as easily as downloading an app to a smartphone. In the long run, this will give Darkstar the opportunity to stay relevant and quickly adapt to specific needs. The pilot can just download the necessary settings and fly into battle on autopilot, knowing that the aircraft is fully prepared for even the most difficult conditions.
This is just one potential concept, what it might look like. It's to describe a vision more than anything else. It's to put something tangible in people's minds.
As we've already said, Darkstar is supposed to become an invisible flying command center, a real stronghold of the U.S. Army in case of nuclear war. And this is a fact. The data transmission technology was borrowed from doomsday aircraft and improved several dozen times. The 6th generation fighter will be able to command the entire U.S. Army from anywhere in the world. Whether it's directing artillery at the enemy, commanding submarines to launch nuclear missiles, or just coordinating other aircraft, Darkstar is capable of it all. This is the end of the video. Thank you for watching this far. We'd be extremely grateful if you'd subscribe to our channel and give us a like for our efforts. Have a great day, and see you soon.